was a homicide case that I was involved in, referred to on Dateline as the little girl in the blue dress. It was a cold case. It was a homicide that allegedly took place about 40 years ago, and I represented the mother of the missing 3-year-old. Her body was never discovered, and it was assumed that she was murdered by the mother and her then boyfriend, former husband. A trial was conducted here in Orange County. We had a trial that lasted several weeks. Jury ended up being deadlocked. It was a mistrial, and the defendant was not convicted. We've had a number of law enforcement individuals that we've represented who are sometimes charged with crimes. One such case was involved 2 Inglewood police officers, myself and another lawyer, conducted the trial. During that trial, it was quite racially charged, as the alleged victim of the police abuse was black and the police officers were Caucasian. You can see here the sketch that the artist made of the court proceedings. The judge would not allow cameras. We tried that case in the court in Los Angeles by the airport. Had a jury trial, and at the end of that jury trial, my client was found not guilty. One case that I handled was of an individual who was charged and convicted of a homicide. He served 17 years in state prison. He had a good lawyer, a good judge, and an ethical prosecutor, but he was wrongfully convicted. We filed a writ in his behalf after we were retained, and they released him from prison, and we were successful in getting a judge to find him innocent of the charges. The state offered some compensation. The most they offered was $10,000. That's the most that was available. This is the individual involved, and we enlisted the help of a state legislator, and we drafted some legislation in council with him, and he got the bill passed through the Assembly and the State Senate, and the Governor Gray Davis, signed the bill awarding Mr. Green $640,000. It's the first time in the history of the state of California that there was ever a single-person appropriations bill. And indeed, the state legislature, the body was the Assembly, recognized that and had an Assembly resolution in his behalf to try and make up for the wrongful conviction and to honor him in that regard. I was counsel for the director of the medical clinic at UCI that was involved with the fertility scandal here in Orange County, which Time magazine described as the biggest medical scandal in U.S. history. There was allegedly a theft of human reproductive materials, embryos, eggs. At one time, we had cryogenically frozen in control over 1,560 viable human embryos. That was quite a unique experience. Fertility scandal was investigated by state and federal authorities. We had to go attend California State Senate hearings about the subject matter with our clients. It was quite a mob scene. At that point in the case, the Orange County District Attorney's Office investigated it, and we exchanged materials and legal briefs and opinions with them, and finally were able to persuade them not to file the case in state court. Where the federal authorities then intervened, and they did eventually file the case. They couldn't file it in terms of stolen human reproductive material. They filed it as a wire fraud case and a tax evasion case, kind of like they did against Al Capone for tax evasion. That's really not why they wanted him, but that's what they charged him with, and that's what they charged my client with. Eventually, before that case could come to trial, my client had left the country and gone to Mexico City and then eventually to Argentina. The United States attempted to extradite him recently from Argentina. It took 2 years, but Argentina declined to extradite him to the United States, and there's currently procedures underway to try and extradite him to the U.S. now from Mexico City. So this case has been ongoing for many, many years. I've been practicing in this county for 40 years. I know all the deputy district attorneys, all the judges, court personnel, law enforcement people that operate in this county. And you can be assured that they know of our reputation. I have over 300 jury trials. I've represented some of their numbers, law enforcement people, judicial officers, and deputy district attorneys. When you're in our hands, they will know we're coming, and they will not fool around with us or try to make false accusations, because they know that we will ultimately prevail.